What is up, y'all? Jack here. Today in this video, I'm going to give you my playbook on how to be successful in high ticket sales. If you don't know who I am, over the last 5 years, I've been truly obsessed with helping people get into this high ticket sales, remote sales, digital closing space. And I do it for two reasons. Number one, I know the impact it's had on my life, not only financially, but truly the ability to work from anywhere from my laptop, from my cell phone. And secondly, I've seen what it's done for a lot of other people. And I'm truly a big believer that if you're a beginner, if you're in a 9-to-5, or you're coming out of school and you're coming out of college and you don't really know which way to go, I'm a huge believer, number one, in sales. But now with the rise of the internet, there is an even better way, online sales. And I'm a true believer that it's the best way for those people, if that's you, to actually see success in the online space. And we all know the online space is growing at a rapid pace. I read a story the other day. If you've seen any of my other videos, I may have dropped it in there, but I think Bloomberg said there's 1,700 new millionaires made online every single day. When I got started, I remember seeing the report, it was 17, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Only 17? Now there's 1,700 new millionaires made online every day. And I think that goes to show the reality of what is possible online. So I'm going to give you my playbook here, exactly how you can get started. Truth is, you don't need me. You don't need a mentor. You don't need a coach. There are unlimited amount of free resources out there. Now, what I will say is people like me, coaches, courses, trainings, they can help you speed that process up, because at some point along the time, you're going to come up against an obstacle, a hurdle, resistance, I like to call it, that is going to be tough, and you're going to need somebody, some coaching, or some people in your circle to help pull you through. And so that's why I'm a big believer in being around the people who are doing what you want to do. And I'm going to actually just give you a ton in this video right now. So let's hop in. Let's go. As you see on the screen, all right, I'm operating off Notion, and I made this little presentation here. There's really only three things that you need to be thinking about right now, okay? And the first thing is your skill, okay? You need to have a baseline level of skill. The second thing is your partnership or your opportunity. You could be the best closer in the world and have a bad opportunity and not make any money. Vice versa, you could be the worst closer in the world and have an incredible opportunity and make lots of money, have lots of success, and live the life that you want. So your partnership is very important, and we're going to talk about that too, all right? And then the third thing we're going to talk about is scale, because a lot of people think landing your partnership is the end. We made it, okay? We got it. We're successful. No, being successful in that opportunity is everything. And we'll talk about what that looks like. So these are the three things. This is the roadmap to high ticket sales. You could turn the video off now and be like, and kind of fill in some of the blanks. But I'm going to take you through and dive in depth each one and what that looks like, okay? So the first thing of skill that I think a lot of people overlook and they think is woo-woo, but it's mindset, okay? Your mindset is everything. Every time you step out of your comfort zone to try to become something bigger, to try to learn something new, what happens is you come up against resistance. I said it earlier, obstacles, challenges. And some people, they come up against this resistance and they look at it and they're like, this is hard. And they forget why they started. And ultimately what happens is they turn around and they go back home. But the winners, the people who actually see success in any aspect of life, whatever you're doing, what they do is they come up against that resistance and they see it as a challenge. They try to figure it out. They may fail, and then they finally figure it out and they keep going. And this usually happens over the course of a couple months. It's not like you're driving on the road and a tree falls and, you know, your only challenge is to get around the tree, where you just cut the tree in half and you chop it into little logs and you move. It's not that, right? It doesn't happen in like a few hours. Usually these challenges come and go over the course of a couple months, and you have to push through these. So your mindset is everything. Do not overlook this. And for the people who are telling me their mindset's not important, you truly have the wrong mindset, which is hilarious, which you'll find out soon enough, and you may become sick of yourself because You come up against all these challenges and you just turn around. Some of you have great mindsets, and you're going to need that going forward, because no matter what you do, getting outside your comfort zone, learning a new skill and trying to level up, you come up against these obstacles, these challenges. To do this, to improve your mindset, there was a study in tennis, and they were looking at the top 25 tennis players in the world. And then they looked at what the top 5 tennis players in the world is. And it wasn't skill, it wasn't technique, it wasn't strength, it wasn't their diet, it wasn't how much they worked out. The difference was the top 5%, within the first 10 seconds of them coming up or hitting a bad shot, making a mistake, losing a point, within the first 10 seconds, they were already thinking another positive thought, like, I'm going to get him next time. Or, dang, I love this game. It's so challenging. It's such a journey. These mindsets that came up, these new positive ways of thinking, separated these top 5 athletes from the top 25. And it was this ability to almost forget about the bad thing that happened and realign with the goal and what you want to achieve. And so that is super important, the mindset. That's part of the skill. People overlook it. The next thing is a framework to sales, because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of sales here. And the framework of sales, a sales process, is super important. A lot of people are out here teaching scripts. Scripts are great. They're a great learning tool to actually get repetition. To me, though, if I really want to have a genuine conversation with somebody and I want to make a sale, I'm actually going to simply use a framework. I know where I'm going. I know what kind of conversation I'm having, but I'm able to be in the moment, and I'm not trying to memorize each word. And if I forget one, I'm just completely lost. So scripts are great. Frameworks are better. And this right here, this framework that I'm going to share with you, is how you can close and sell anything to anyone. Very simple, okay? 5 steps. Your intro, okay? Step 1, your introduction. When you walk into a restaurant, you walk into a 5-star restaurant. You walk in, there's a hostess up front. What does she do? She greets you, hey, welcome into the restaurant tonight. My name's, Jen. We'll be right with you here in a few moments. We're getting your table ready. She introduced herself. She told you who she was. She's going to be taking care of you. And it's that introduction that sets them apart, okay? A lot of people miss this. If you go to a bad restaurant, you walk in, it's awkward. The hostess doesn't say anything, may not even be there, and you're just like, do we sit ourselves? Do we wait? What's going on? Okay? And so the introduction is how you set the tone for the rest of the call. Step 2 is the discovery. This is going to be the predominant section of your sales process. This is when you are going to ask questions that give you data. And data is information about the person that you're talking to see if they're a good fit for the product or service that you're selling, to see what kind of problems they've been through, to see how much money they're making. Are they qualified to buy the product or service? What have they tried to fix their problem? What are their goals? Where do they want to be? And so these are the questions that you're going to ask in step 2. And when you start to ask these questions, you start to piece together a puzzle of this prospect, of this potential client. And then when you have that puzzle, you can actually put together a solution for them. You've seen their problems, and now you can offer a solution. That takes us to step 3, the presentation. A lot of people think the presentation is everything in sales. Truth is, it's not. The presentation, the most important part, is going to be doing a quick overview of your product. You choose 3 main aspects. We call them 3 pillars of your product. And you tell 3 short stories on that. This should take 5 minutes. Don't over discuss your product. Don't sit there for 20 minutes and be show it all the bells and whistles. The client doesn't care. They care about the result. They care about the vacation that they're going on, right? Don't sell them the travel that it's going to take to get to the vacation. Sell them all the fun they're going to have on the vacation. So they don't need to know every single detail when you're trying to close them. If they have questions, you can go back and discuss that at the end. But the main thing is showing them the 3 main pillars and explaining how you're going to help them get to their goal, how you're going to get them to their vacation, to their outcome that they want. Very simple. That's step 3. Now that we're halfway through, I want a quick recap. Introduction, say who you are, what your purpose is, what the call is going to look like. Second, discovery, ask questions, okay? See what they've gone through, what their challenges are, what their goals are, what they've tried, and really get to know this person. See if they're a good fit for your product or service. Step 3, the presentation. Easy. 3 pillars of your product or service. Lay it out for them. Show it to them in like 5-minute span. And then you're going to transition to step 4, which is the test close. The test close is like, the other night my wife was cooking rice and we were boiling water and she put salt in there. And I'm like, why are you putting salt in the water? And she was like, yeah, you got to get it flavored before you put the rice in there. And so a few minutes later, she's like, hey, go taste the water, see if it tastes good. And the test close is just like me tasting that water, preparing it for the rice. Because if the water doesn't taste good, the rice isn't going to taste good. It's going to taste flat. And so the test close is just like that in the sales process. You want to test before you try to sell. You want to make sure they're ready. You don't want to try to ask somebody to buy something unless they're ready. And so you could ask the question like, how's everything sounding so far? Do you think that like this is something that would work for you? And if they're like, yes, 100%, you move to the next stage. If they're not, if they're like, yeah, I see, it could be good, then you need to go back and you need to handle some of the things that they're worried about and some of the questions that they have. And then you can move on to step 5, which is the close. And in the close, you're not just going to say, hey, it's going to be $5,000. Okay. No. What you're going to do is you're going to stack the offer. You're going to say, hey, you're going to get this, all the things that they're getting. It could be the 3 pillars, and it could be a little bit more support or whatever else you have. You're going to stack it, and then you're going to price drop. You're going to say, hey, the total for this is going to be $5,000. And then you just sit there and you wait. Another way you could say it is the total is this for $5,000, and you assume the close where you say like, hey, how would you like to handle that today? Credit card, debit, MasterCard, Visa. And then you just wait for their response. A lot of people get scared here when it gets quiet because there's probably 9 out of 10 times you're going to get some objections. You're going to get some questions. There's going to be fear and, uncertainty in the person that you're talking to. Okay. And the reason is, if you're doing this right, you're selling a high-ticket product or service. I'll talk more about that in a second. But you're going to be selling a high-ticket product or service, and it's a big investment. Even for people with lots of money that they know this is going to be a good fit, a lot of times there's going to be an objection, and you're going to need to have an objection handle, and that'll go to the next part. But it's simple as that, y'all. This is the framework. And I could dive into this more. I have a lot of other videos on that. You should go check them out on my channel. But then this is really the framework you need to follow. Introduction, discovery, presentation, test close the deal, sign them up, earn the commission. Forget the scripts. Follow the framework. You follow the framework, you'll win big. I promise you. You'll be in a lot more communication with the person, you'll have better rapport, and ultimately you'll close more deals. That is step 1. Some of you have the skills already. That's the cool part. You may not know all of that in the way that I teach it, but you have the skills, okay? If you don't have the skills, you need to get the skills, practice that, read books. You're not going to get good at sales by reading books, but it's a good information foundation. And so then you can go into the world and you can start practicing with your friends. You could get on live sales calls or just do live mock calls that I used to call people because I was so nervous at the beginning. I would call people that weren't even real and try to sell them something, even though I had nothing to sell, and just get comfortable with getting people hanging up on you and saying no. It's an uncomfortable place to be. That's okay. It's all good. Next step 2, partner, okay? You are going to want to land a partnership that is, number 1, has a lot of opportunity, can make you a lot of money, but more importantly, you need to land a partnership in a position that you care about, okay? And that's why I'm a big believer in teaching niche, whatever you call it. Finding a niche or a niche that's interesting to you. And you do this by looking at your life. What have you done? What experience do you have? What knowledge do you have? Now, you make another list. More importantly, what really gets you fired up? Like what makes you excited? For me, it's sports. I love basketball. I love golf. I love connecting with people. So I'm looking at these things. I even like playing pickleball. I've started playing that a little bit lately. But like, look at these things and put together a list, okay? And when you do that, you then need to go in and find industries. Inside of that industry, find companies that are selling high-ticket products and services, and these are the people that you could partner with. I told you earlier, the purpose of getting into the space is not to get another 9-to-5. It's simply to get something that fires you up and gives you the vehicle to have more freedom, more location freedom, more time freedom to do what you want. And this is important because if you skip this part in 3 months when you land a nice position, but you don't believe in the product or the service, you don't actually think it's beneficial to, humanity, or you don't even care about it, you're just going to quit and you're going to burn out. And prevent the burnout up front. Do something that doesn't feel like work. What I do, I come into work every day. It just doesn't feel like work anymore, and I love it. It's just chill. Like, I'm doing what I do, and I embrace it. And so you can get to that too, but it starts up front, okay? It starts with choosing a niche. Next, offer. You want to find a company with a good offer, okay? Price points need to be high ticket, okay? So that's $2,000 and over. The exception I would say is like software. Sometimes software is recurring based monthly, and over the year it adds up to over $2,000. So that's something to look at. But at minimum, I would say you want to sell something that's $2,000 and over. You may be thinking, who's going to buy something $2,000 and over? Trust me, we live in the United States of America. For most of us watching this, some of us are foreign, but people are buying things that are over $2,000 every single day. Millions of people are. And so open up your mind, expand what you thought to be possible, and change your perception of money, because money is out there. It's flowing. People are buying, and you could be that bridge between company and product and consumer. If you can be that bridge, you're going to earn a lot of money. Second, in the offer, you want to see something that gets a lot of good results. All right, you want good testimonials, good case studies. You don't want to work with a bad company that doesn't actually provide a good product or service. And the other way you can look at that is looking at reviews, good reviews, okay? That's it for partner. So we did skill, we got partner, and now we're going to go to scale. So a lot of people think that the end of the road is getting that partnership. And I said this earlier, but that's just the beginning, right? It's going to be the foundation, but you need to learn how to scale in that partnership. And the key to this is training. It's to review your sales calls, review the game film, look at your sales calls, see where you can get better, listen back. Did I say something wrong? Try to diagnose what the person on the other side of the phone is thinking. Are they like, hey, I don't want to talk anymore, it's not for me? Try to diagnose that. And if you can start to understand how people work, then slowly over time, you're going to increase your close percentage, okay? And I put that down here as well. But review the game film, practice, study, get with a group of people that are like-minded, let them give you feedback, take in more information, try new things. This is how you scale, and this is how you increase the money that you earn, even 1% every month. If you can increase your close rate 5%, you may be making a lot more money. You'd be surprised. You could run the numbers on your offer when you get there, okay? But increasing your skill with a position is one part, but you as a sales unit, as a sales terminator, as an absolute closer, it's not linear. You're going to go up and down, and you need to constantly be getting better and improving, watching yourself, listening, doing the day-to-day training. Stat tracking, track your stats, okay? Take notes. Use, I put out a video last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago about tracking your stats and how you can do it inside of Sheets, Google Sheets, and that way you can see what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you know where you want to go, you can reverse engineer that to get the results you want. Raise your inputs, okay? Do more. Can you do 2x more? Yes, 100%. Can you do 10x more? 100%. I guarantee you can. And a lot of people don't realize it's possible, but if you can do 2, you might as well do 10. And then somewhere in the middle, it's like shoot for the stars and aim for and land on the moon, right? So push yourself to do more. Raise your inputs. You should start seeing it in your stat tracking, and you should start seeing your production and the money that you earn and the life that you create. You should see it all go up. And then the last thing is raise your closer percentage, your closing rate. Okay. So this is it. Simple playbook, very effective. I'm very big on minimalism. Like, we could sit here and we could talk about every single little thing that you need, but if you keep this in the back of your mind, I need to get the skill, I need to land a partnership, and then I need to really work on my skill again and get better and better and better and better. If you do this, things will start to change, and you're going to see success. You will, 100%. Guys, hope you got some value from this. I'm massively obsessed with this industry. I believe in it so much. I'm not flashy. I'm not going to be on here like flexing Lambos or talking about all the things that I've done. I've been lucky enough to touch a few $1 million online, and it's just the beginning. I'm here in my warehouse right now. I wake up every day, and I think about how can I help our clients, and then how can I help other people through YouTube that don't have the money right now or may not be a good fit actually get started. So if you are interested in our mentorship, there's a link below that you can apply to see if it's a good fit. We don't take everyone. We're very specific. But if not, take this, go implement it, and go win. That's the most important thing. The opportunity's there. I told you about how much opportunity. There's 1,700 new millionaires online created every single day. That means more opportunity for you. Industry is far from oversaturated, and I want to see more people win in this space. So thank y'all for watching. Again, remember, the world is better when you're better. Let's go.